He was 19 years old, a rich kid, a womanizer, a guy who got into fistfights over girls and threw punches for fun. He had no idea what he was, no idea what his family really did behind closed doors. And in one afternoon, in one square, in front of the entire city of Florence, he watched his father and both his brothers hanged for a crime they didn't commit. This is the story of how that boy became the most feared assassin in all Italy. This is Assassin's Creed 2. But before we get to Ezio, you need to know who's actually telling this story. Because Assassin's Creed 2 isn't just about the past, it's about a bartender from New York named Desmond Miles. Desmond was kidnapped by a shady pharmaceutical company called Abstergo Industries and strapped into a machine called the Animus, a device that lets you relive the genetic memories of your ancestors. In the first game, he relived the memories of a 12th century assassin named Altair. Now, with the help of two Abstergo employees secretly working against their own company, Lucy Stillman and a hacker named Sean, Desmond escapes and dives into the memories of a different ancestor, a more important one. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Ezio Auditore da Firenze. Florence, 1476. The height of the art, wealth, politics, and blood, all packed into the same square mile. And in the middle of it, Ezio Auditore, second son of a wealthy banker, spending his days chasing girls and beating up rival gangs for sport. This is the version of Ezio nobody talks about enough. Because he's not a hero yet. He's a spoiled, charming troublemaker. He's got a beef with a guy named Vieri de Pazzi, and the name Pazzi is going to matter a lot. He's chasing a married noblewoman named Cristina Vespucci, who he's obsessed with. He delivers letters for his dad without knowing what's actually inside them. He is, in every sense, a kid who thinks his biggest problem in life is a rival gang leader. On a quiet night in Florence, long before he became the legendary assassin history would remember, Ezio Auditore was simply a young man in love. As the city slept beneath the moonlight, one familiar window slowly opened. Waiting there was Cristina Vespucci, the woman who had stolen Ezio's heart. Without a second thought, Ezio scaled the walls with the confidence of someone chasing not glory, but love. Every rooftop, every leap, every risk led him to the one person who made the world around him disappear. When they finally met, nothing else seemed to matter. Not the powerful families ruling Florence, not the political tensions spreading through the city, not the dark conspiracy that was already begging to unfold. For those few precious moments, there were no assassins, no Templars, no hidden blades, only two young lovers dreaming of a future they believed would last forever. But neither Ezio nor Cristina could have imagined that this peaceful night would become one of the final memories of a life that was about to change forever. Every legend has a beginning, but few are born with the weight of an entire shadow war already resting on their newborn shoulders. Before the hidden blades, the rooftops of Rome, or the revelations of Masyaf, they were just a cry in a Florentine bedroom. In 1459, Ezio Auditore da Firenze entered the world of art, beauty, and hidden systemic rot. His father, Giovanni, looks down at him and says, "You will be an auditore. You will be a fighter." He had no idea how literal those words would become. This is the story of how a carefree noble boy was violently broken down, only to be forged into the most iconic assassin the world has ever known. Ezio isn't a brooding warrior of justice. He's reckless, charming teenager with a penchant for street brawls and late-night poetry. The contrast here is brilliant. The game spends time letting us live his comfortable life. We feel the adrenaline of his rivalry with the posse, and more importantly, we see his humanity through Cristina Vespucci. This isn't just a tutorial on how to climb or romance an NPC, it's the narrative anchoring us to what Ezio stands to lose. He's a boy fearlessly in love with life, entirely oblivious to the fact that his family's status is a fragile glass built over a volcano. When Ezio returns home, he's still a boy doing favors for his mother and siblings. But notice how quickly the atmosphere shifts? The vibrant Florentine sun sets and a cold, oppressive fog seems to roll into the city. Giovanni, Federico, and Petrosio are gone, arrested under false charges of treason. When Ezio scales the terrifying heights of the Palazzo della Signoria to speak with his father through the prison bars, the stakes completely change. Giovanni isn't just a banker, he is desperate. He gives Ezio a mission that will alter his destiny forever. Find a hidden chest, take what's inside, and deliver a letter to a family ally, which is Oberto Alberti. Stepping into his father's study, Ezio uses an instinct he didn't even know he possessed to uncover a secret compartment. Inside lies an inheritance written in blood. The moment Ezio puts on the assassin's robes, the game visually take him from a civilian into a weapon yet. At this moment, he doesn't wear them out of a creed or a sense of duty. He wears them out of love of his father. He delivers the evidence to Oberto Alberti, a man, well, he trusts implicitly, believing the law will right this wrong. Ezio goes to sleep that night, thinking tomorrow will bring justice. He has no idea he has just handed his family over to the executioner. The betrayal at the gallows is the exact moment the boy Ezio dies and the assassin is truly burned. Standing in the piazza, watching the people he loved most in the world swing from a rope because of a man he trusted. Ezio's world shatters completely. The system didn't protect him. The law was a weapon used by the corrupt. As he screams into the Florentine sky, pursued by guards and marked for death, he is no longer just a nobleman's son on the run. He's a man consumed by vengeance, standing on the cliff of a war, and Florence will burn until he gets his revenge. You don't get time to cry when there is a price on your head. The moment the gallows floor dropped, Ezio's life as he knew it just evaporated. He went from the favorite son of Florence to a hunted animal in a matter of seconds. Every alleyway became a trap, every shadow, well, a potential blade. But the true weight of the tragedy doesn't hit him until he makes it back to what's left of his family. His mother, Maria, she's completely catatonic, frozen by the trauma of watching her husband and youngest child murdered in cold blood. His sister, Claudia, is sobbing, terrified, looking at Ezio because he's the only protector she has left in this world. Ezio has to bury his grief, step up, and become the man of the house. He realizes they can't stay in Florence. If they stay, they die. But escaping a city on lockdown requires skills he doesn't have yet. To survive, a nobleman has to learn how to become a ghost. Ezio takes the broken mechanism found in his father's chest to a friendship in gaming history. With a stroke of a brilliant engineering, Leonardo da Vinci fixes the mechanism, and for the first time, the iconic hidden blade snaps into place on Ezio's wrist. He's no longer defenseless. His first target is Uberto Alberti, the corrupt judge, is throwing a lavish art exhibition, celebrating his victory. Completely surrounded by gods, Alberto genuinely believes he successfully wiped out the Auditore line. He thinks he is safe behind his walls and his soldiers. He has absolutely no idea that the boy he sentenced to death is currently walking right through his front gates, wearing his father's robes, blending seamlessly with the guests, and carrying a blade meant for the throat. Ezio breaks from the crowd, driving the hidden blade into the chest over and over again. Its raw, unbridled rage as Alberto lies dying. Bleeding out, he tries to justify his betrayal by saying he did it to protect his own family, but Ezio doesn't care about politics. He cares about blood. And instead of slipping away quietly, Ezio stands over the corpse and screams to the terrified crowd, "The Auditore are not dead. I'm still here. Ezio Auditore." It's a declaration of war. He's letting the entire conspiracy know that they failed to finish the job. Leaving Florence was only the first step. Ezio, Maria, and Claudia are now refugees, running through the dusty roads of Tuscany with nothing but clothes on their backs. And the Templars aren't about to just let them walk away. On the road to their family's ancestral villa, they are ambushed by Vieri de Pazzi, Ezio's old rival from the streets of Florence, along with a squad of armed thugs. Ezio tries to fight them off, but he's outnumbered, exhausted, and desperately trying to protect his traumatized mother and sister. Just when it looks like they're about to get wiped out, a loud, booming voice echoes across the hills. Out of nowhere, a group of mercenaries charges into the fray, led by a purely one-eyed man with a massive sword. This is Mario Auditore, Ezio's uncle. After cleaning out the Pazzi thugs, Mario greets his nephew with the iconic, slightly cheesy line, "It's me, Mario." But behind that warm grin is a hardened warrior. He takes the broken family to Monterione, a walled fortress town that serves as the Auditore state. For the first time since the hanging, Ezio can finally catch his breath, but doesn't want to stay. His plan is simple: drop off his mother and sister, pack his bags, and flee to Spain to start over. Uncle Mario is absolutely disgusted by Ezio's plan to run away. He confronts Ezio in the villas and drops a massive truth bomb on him. Giovanni wasn't just a banker who got caught up in politics. He was an assassin, and the men who killed him weren't just corrupt politicians. They belonged to an ancient, secret order known as the Templars. The fortress has fallen. After fighting his way through countless guards and scaling the castle's towering walls, Ezio Auditore finally reaches the man who helped shatter his life, Francesco de Pazzi. There is nowhere left for him to run. Surrounded by stone walls and with his army defeated, Francesco makes one final attempt to stop the young assassin. Still collides in a fierce duel. Every strike carries the weight of betrayal. But this battle was decided long before the first blade was drawn. With one more final attack, Ezio defeats the Pazzi, bringing an end to one of the men responsible for the Auditore's family downfall. For a brief moment, justice seems served, but Ezio realizes something unsettling. The conspiracy that destroyed his family didn't begin with Francesco, and it certainly doesn't end with him. Stepping onto the castle's battlements, Ezio is greeted by his uncle, Mario Auditore, standing high above the fortress. They gaze across the rolling hills of Tuscany as the wind carries away the smoke of battle. Mario doesn't celebrate the victory for long. Instead, he gives Ezio a warning. What you've done here is important, but you've only cut off one branch. The roots are still alive. Those responsible for the betrayal of the Auditore family are part of something far greater than a single noble house. Hidden behind politics, religion, and wealth lies an organization that has manipulated the course of history for generations. And if Ezio truly wants answers, he must learn the truth about his own family. Without another word, Mario leads him back to the Villa Auditore. But instead of entering the villa itself, he unlocks a hidden passage concealed beneath the state. As ancient mechanisms grin to life, a secret doorway slowly opens, revealing a chamber untouched by time. Torchlight flickers across weathered stone walls, ancient weapons rest silently in their tracks. Faded banners hang from the ceiling, each bearing the symbol of a forgotten brotherhood. Ezio has just stepped into an assassin sanctuary. The room feels like a hideout, and more like a sacred place. Every sword, every piece of armor, every hidden blade tells a story of warriors who lived and died in secrecy, protecting humanity from forces the world never knew existed. Then Mario finally reveals the truth. His father, Giovanni Auditore, wasn't simply a banker or a respected noble. He was an assassin. For years, Giovanni fought a secret war against an ancient enemy known as the Templars, a powerful order determined to control kingdoms, governments, and ultimately the future of mankind. His execution was never about politics. It was the result of a conflict that had been raging in the shadows for centuries. In an instant, everything begins to make sense. The hidden blade, the mysterious codex packages, his father's secret missions, none of it was a coincidence. The Auditore family had always been part of the Brotherhood. As Mario explains the creed, Ezio finally understands that revenge alone can never end this war. Francesco was only one man. Countless others remain hidden behind positions of power, waiting to shape history for their own ambitions. At that moment, Ezio's path changes forever. No longer is he simply a young man seeking vengeance for his family. From this day forward, he begins his journey as an assassin, and the real story is coming now. Hidden beneath the streets of Florence, the Templars gather in secret. Far from the eyes of the public, the men responsible for Italy's corruption meet within an ancient underground chamber. Noblemen, politicians, merchants, and all united by a single ambition: absolute control. At the center of it all stands the Grand Master of the Order, Rodrigo Borgia, calm, calculating, and always several steps ahead. He reminds his followers that every sacrifice is necessary if it brings them closer to power. Unknown to them, they are not alone. Watching silently from the shadows, Ezio listens as the Templars discuss their plans and the mysterious piece of Eden, an artifact said to possess unimaginable power. Before he can learn more, the meeting comes to an end, and the conspirators just disappear into the city. Ezio now has a new objective. One by one, the men responsible for the conspiracy must fall. His first target is Francesco Salviati. Salviati takes refuge inside a heavily guarded palace, but walls and soldiers have never been enough to stop an assassin. Climbing silently, and bam, he kills him. Yet another conspirator has fallen. Soon after, Ezio sets his sights to another powerful Templar, Stefano di Bagnone, a corrupt priest who hides behind the sanctity of the church, while secretly serving the Templar order. Dressed in dark robes, Stefano believes no one would dare spill blood inside a place of worship. Well, he's wrong. Ezio enters the church, unnoticed, blending among the worshippers. Every step echoes through silent halls as he slowly closes the distance. At the perfect moment, the hidden blade flashes once again. The corrupt priest collapses before he even realizes death has arrived. Even within sacred walls, justice finds those who betray the innocent. Meanwhile, the remaining Templars grow increasingly desperate. As night falls, Rodrigo Borgia summons another secret meeting. The atmosphere is tense. Their carefully constructed plans are beginning to collapse, and someone must answer for their failures. Rodrigo doesn't believe in second chances. Without hesitation, he turns on one of his own allies, seeing him as a liability. He executes him without mercy in front of the others. The message is unmistakable. Failure will not be tolerated. Loyalty means nothing if it stands in the way of the Templars' ambition. The surviving conspirators leave knowing one thing. Their greatest threat is longer only Ezio Auditore. It is the man who commands them all. The following day, while the Templars continue preparing for their next move, Ezio reunites with his closest friends, Leonardo da Vinci. Ever the brilliant inventor, Leonardo unveils one of his most extraordinary creations yet, a flying machine inspired by the sketches of an ancient genius. What once seemed impossible now stands before Ezio as a working invention. Although the machine is fragile, it may be the only way to infiltrate one of the most heavily defended cities in Italy. As the sun begins to set, Ezio climbs the launch point, overlooking the landscape. Taking one final breath, he spreads the wings of Leonardo's invention. The wind catches beneath the canvas. The machine lifts into the air. For the first time in history, an assassin takes flight. Leonardo's incredible flying machine begins to lose altitude, forcing Ezio into a rough landing beyond the city walls. The invention has done its job, but the mission is far from over. Dusting himself off, Ezio presses forward toward his next target. Waiting inside the city is one of the Templars' most influential allies, Carlo Grimaldi, hidden behind wealth, political power, and an army of loyal guards. Carlo believes no assassin could ever reach him. Well, he's wrong. Using the rooftops to remain unseen, Ezio patiently follows his target through the crowded streets of Venice. Every step brings him closer, every rooftop narrows the distance, then, when the perfect opportunity, Ezio strikes from above. Another member of the conspiracy falls, leaving the Templars weaker than ever before, but victory comes at a price. Ezio returns to the headquarters of the Thieves' Guild, where Antonio and his allies have been preparing for the next stage of the flight. The celebration is short-lived. During Ezio's absence, the Templars launch their own attack. Rosa, one of Antonio's most trusted companions, has been badly wounded. The hideout is filled with tension. Antonio blames himself for falling to protect his people, while Ezio realizes that every victory against the Templars is answered with another act of violence. This war is spreading far beyond him. With little time to rest, Ezio continues his hunt. Years pass. The year now is 1488. Italy remains divided, and the conflict between assassins and Templars has only grown more dangerous. Ezio arrives in the fortress city of Forli, where he reunites with one of the most formidable women he has ever met, Caterina Sforza, strong-willed, fearless, and unwilling to bow before any king or pope. Caterina has become both an important ally and a dangerous enemy to the Templars. Meeting her at the docks, Ezio quickly realizes something's wrong. The enemy has already begun moving against her family, hoping to force her into surrender. Together, they race back to her fortress, but they're too late. The Templars have infiltrated the castle. In the chaos, Caterina's children are kidnapped, taken hostage in an attempt to bring her spirit and seize control of the city. The kidnappers believe a mother's love will force her to surrender everything she has fought to protect. They couldn't be more mistaken. Without hesitation, Ezio sets out after the kidnappers, tracking them across the countryside and cutting through anyone who stands in his way. One by one, the guards fall until he finally reaches the children, safe once again. They are reunited with their mother. For Caterina, this is more than a rescue. It is a proof that even a world consumed by betrayal and war, there are still people willing to fight for what truly matters. As the gates for Forli close behind them, Ezio knows his victory is only temporary, because somewhere in the shadows, Rodrigo Borgia is already preparing his next move. For the first time in years, Ezio Auditore finds himself lying helpless on the cold stone floor, wounded and unable to stop him. He watches as a mysterious man dressed in dark robes steps forward and claims the Apple of Eden. The artifact that countless men have killed to possess is gone. By the time Ezio regains his strength, his enemy has already disappeared into the city, but the hunt isn't over. The following day, rumors begin spreading through the streets. Crowds gather outside a church, their attention fixed on a single man standing before them. The Apple of Eden rests in his hands. With nothing more than a gesture, he bends the crowd to his will. Men and women who only moments before acted of their own free will, now obey every command without question. Fear spreads through the city as Ezio witnesses the true power of the artifact. This is exactly why the Templars have spent generations searching for it. Not for wealth, not for glory, but for control. Because anyone who possesses the apple can shape humanity itself. Ezio knows there is only one way to stop him. Without drawing attention, he slips into the crowd, blending with every very people whose minds have been stolen. Every step brings him closer to his target. Then he strikes. The hidden blade flashes through the chaos before anyone realizes what was happening. The mysterious figure collapses. The apple slips from his grasp, and once again, it belongs to Ezio. Almost immediately, the stranger influence over the crowd begins to fade. The people slowly regain control of themselves, confused by what was just happened. They have no idea how close they came to becoming slave to a power beyond human. Ezio says nothing. He simply walks away with the apple in his hand. His journey now leads him to the Vatican, where the true mastermind has been waiting all along, Rodrigo Borgia, the man responsible for the conspiracy that destroyed the Auditore family, the man who manipulated kings, nobles, and priests in his endless pursuit of power, the man who believes the apple is his destiny. Deep within the ancient chambers beneath the Vatican, Ezio finally confronts him. There are no armies left, no allies, no escapes, only two men standing at the end of a war that has lasted for decades. Rodrigo attacks without hesitation. The chamber erupts into a brutal hand-to-hand battle. Every punch, every strike, and every step echoes through the ancient halls as years of anger and betrayal explode into one final confrontation. Rodrigo fights with every he has left, but Ezio has changed. He's no longer the reckless young man driven only by revenge. He's an assassin. After an exhausting battle, Rodrigo collapses to the ground, defeated, broken, unable to continue. Ezio stands over the man who stole everything from him. One final blow, and it would all be over. But instead of giving him to hatred, Ezio makes the hardest choice of his life. He lowers his fists. He refuses to kill him, because revenge will not bring back his father. It will not restore his brothers, and it will not heal the wounds he has carried for so many years. For the first time since his journey began, Ezio walks away. As he approaches the ancient vault, massive stone doors slowly begin to open. Inside waits a figure unlike anything he has ever seen. She introduces herself as Minerva. She speaks of a civilization that existed long before mankind, revealing that the conflict between assassins and Templars is only a small part of a far greater story. Then something impossible happens. Minerva looks past Ezio. As through, he isn't the one she's speaking to. Instead, she addresses someone named Desmond. Ezio stands frozen, confused, unable to understand how a woman from an ancient civilization could be speaking to someone who hasn't even been born in this lifetime. The answer is he spent years searching for half, only revealed an even greater mystery. His journey for vengeance has become something much larger than himself. And as the fold falls silent, Ezio Auditore realizes that his story may have reached its end. But the battle between freedom and control had only just begun. Thank you guys for watching. If you just make it through here, please tell me what did you thought about the video in the comments, and put your like and subscription if you like the video, because we're going to continue in this with the next episode. It's going to be about Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Thank you guys, and stay sharp.